Genesis 30. When Rachel saw that she was not bearing Jacob any children, she became jealous of her sister. And so she said to Jacob, "Give me children, or I will die." Jacob became angry with her and said, "Am I in the place of God, who has kept you from having children?" Then she said, Here is Biha, my servant. Sleep with her, so that she can bear children of me, and I too can build a family through her. So she gave him her servant Bilhah as a wife. Jacob slept with her, and she became pregnant and bore him a son. Then Rachel said, God has vindicated me. She has listened to my plea and given me a son. Because of this, she named him Dan. Rachel's servant Bilhah conceived again and bore Jacob a second son. Then Rachel said, I have had a great struggle with my sister, and I have won. So she named him Naphtali. When Leah saw that she had stopped having children, she took her servant Zilpah and gave her to Jacob as a wife. Leah's servant Zilpah bore Jacob a son. Then Leah said, What a good fortune! So she named him Gad. Leah uh, servant Silver bore Jacob a second son. Then Leah said, How happy I am! The woman will call me happy. So she named him Asher. During wheat harvest, Reuben went out into the fields and found some mandrake plants, which he brought to his mother Leah. Rachel said to Leah, Please give me some of your son's mandrakees. But she said to her, Wasn't it enough that you took away my house band? Will you take my son's mandrakees too? Very well, Rachel said. He can sleep with you tonight in return for your son's mandrakees. So when Jacob came in from the fields that evening, Leah went out to meet him. You must sleep with me, she said. I have heard you with my son's mandrakees. So she slept with her that night. God listened to the Leah, and he became pregnant and bore Jacob a fifth son. Then Leah said, God has rewarded me for giving my servant to my husband. So she named him uh, Yezachar. Yezach. Yezach. Leah convenienced again and bore Jacob a sixth son. Then Leah said, God have presented me with a precious gift. This time my husband will treat me with honor because I have borne him six sons. So she named him Zebulun. So time later, she gave birth to a daughter and named her Dinah. Then God remembered Rachel. He listened to her and enabled her to con, con, conceive. She became pregnant and gave birth to a son and said, God has taken away my disgrace. She named him Joseph and said, May the Lord add to me another son. Jacob flocks increase. After Rachel gave birth to Joseph, Jacob said to the Laban, send me on my way so I can go back to my own homeland. Give me my wives and children, for whom I have served you, and I will be on my way. You know how much work I've done for you. But Laban said to him, if I have found favor in my eyes, please stay. I have learned by divination that the Lord has blessed me because of you. He added, name your wages, and I will pay them. Jacob said to him, you know how I have worked for you, and how your livestock has further under my care. The little you had before I came has increased greatly, and the Lord has blessed you wherever I have been. But now, when may I do something for my own household? What shall I give you? She asked. Don't give me anything, Jacob replied. But if you will do this one thing for me, I will go and tend your flocks and watching over them. Let me go through all your flocks today and remove from them every speckled and or spotted sheep, every dark colored lamb, and every spotted or speckled goat. They will be my wages, and my house will testify for me in the future. Whenever you check on the wages you have paid me, and any goat in my position that is not speckled or spotted, or any lamb that is not dark colored will be considered stolen. Agree, said Laban. Let, let it be as you have said. That same day, he removed all the male goats that were struck or spotted, and all the speckled or spotted female goats, all that had written on them, and all the dark colored lambs, and he placed them in the care of his sons. Then he put a 3-day journey be- between himself and Jacob, while Jacob continued to tend the rest of Laban's flocks. Jacob, however, took fresh cut branches from popular among and plant trees, and made a white strips on them by peeling the back and exposing the white inner wood of the branches. Then he placed the peeled branches in all the watering troughs, so that they would be directly in front of the flocks when they came to drink. When the flocks were in heat and came to drink, they mated in front of the branches, and they brought young that were streaked or speckled or spotted. Jacob set apart the young of the flock by themselves, but made the rest face the streaked and dark-colored animals that belonged to Laban. Thus he made a spirit flocks for himself and did not put them with Laban's animals. Whenever the stronger females were in heat, Jacob would place the branches in the troughs in front of the animals so they would mate near the branches. But if the animals were weak, they would not place them there. So the weak animals went to Laban, and the stronger ones to Jacob. In this way, the man grew exceedingly prosperous and came to own larger flocks and the female and the male servants and the camels and donkeys. Jacob flees from Laban. Jacob heard that Laban's sons were saying, Jacob has taken everything our father owned and have gained all this wealth from what belonged to our father. And Jacob noticed that Laban's attitude toward him was not what it had been. Then the Lord said to Jacob, Go back to the land of your fathers and to your relatives, and I will be with you. So Jacob sent word to Rachel and Lance to come out to the fields where his flocks were. He said to them, I see that your father's attitude toward me is not what it was before, but the God of my father has been with me. You know that I've worked for your father with all my strength. Yet your father has created me by changing my wages ten times. However, God has not allowed him to harm me. If he said, the speckled ones will be your wages, then all the flocks gave birth to speckled young. Um, so God has taken away your father's livestock and has given them to me. In breeding season, I once had a dream in which I looked up and saw that the male goats mating with the flock were streaked, speckled or spotted. The angel of God said to me in the dream, "Just been doing to you. I'm the God of Bath, where you anointed a pillar and where you made a vow to me. Now leave this land at once and go back to your native land. Does he still have any share in the inheritance of our father's estate? Does he not regard us as foreigners? Not only has he sold us, not only has he sold us, but he has used up what was paid for us. Surely all the wealth that God took away from our father belongs to us and our children. So do whatever God has told you. Then Jacob put his children and his wives on camels, and he drove all his livestock ahead of him, along with all the good goods he had accumulated in Padan Aram to go to his father Isaac in the land of Canaan. When Laban had gone to shear his sheep, Rachel stole her father's household gods. Moreover, Jacob deceived Laban the Aramean by not telling him he was running away. So he filled with all he had, crossed the Euphrates River, and headed for the hill country of Gilead. Laban pursues pursues Laban pursues Jacob. When on the third day, Laban was told that Jacob had fled, taking his relatives with him. He pursued Jacob for 7 days and caught up with him in the hill country of Gilead. Then God came to Laban Aramean in the dream at night and said to him, Be careful. not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad. Jacob had pitched his tent in the hill country of Gilead when Laban overtook him, and Laban and his relatives can came there too. Then Laban said to Jacob, "What have you done? You've deceived me, and you've carried off my daughters like captives in war. Why did you run off secretly and deceive me? Why didn't you tell me so I could send you away with joy and singing to the music of Timnah?